Minister for the Environment, Climate, Communications and Transport, Eamon Ryan. Is this the beginning of the end, do you think?
Yes, I hope so. And it is good news, Shane. I think it is. It's part of a process. Like we have, over the last couple of months now, been slowly, steadily reopening, and that's going to continue. And it is because the vaccines are working. And in the next 2 months, if we keep going the way we're going, I mean, the health service have done an incredible job. We should first and foremost just reflect that. I mean, particularly if I can say in the last 2 weeks when their entire internet systems came down, and they last week delivered 314,000 vaccines. That's an amazing achievement, and anyone who's had it will know the sense of civic pride around that.
Yeah.
Really
I'm getting mine tomorrow. I'm looking forward to getting it. And you're right to pay tribute to people in the HSE. They've done an extraordinary job. Ciara's looking forward to booking a holiday. Should she book that holiday?
We will. That's part of it. It is. We want everything back, and we want people coming here, and we want friends to meet, family to meet, and a whole range of different reasons. And that will come. And it's in the sort of time frames that's been reported. Europe is saying by the 1st of July we'll have the system in place where a certificate, a digital green certificate, where either someone who's been vaccinated or someone who has recovered from COVID or has a positive or a negative or other PCR test will be able to get that QR code saying, you've got the green cert.
Yeah, there is a 6-week window though, isn't there, to implement that for individual countries. Are you going to implement that digital cert straight away?
No, we will follow the EU recommendations, and we'll use some of those 6 weeks, not all of them by any means, to do a couple of things. Firstly, every week we get another 300,000 people with the jab, so our 300,000 vaccines out. They wouldn't all be first doses by then, but it is every week really helps because there's still risks, there's still variants out there. We have to be careful. But secondly, it also gives us time, what the European Union says is needed, to start preparing our airports, because there's going to be a lot of work done. What we've seen in the likes of the UK when the flights started to come back is very long queues in the likes of Heathrow Airport, because people will still have to be checked. Even the small measure of electronic checking, that sort of QR code, will involve delays. So the airports are going to have to ramp up their ability to manage that. That won't be easy, but yes is the answer. We will be. Flights are coming back. Travel is coming back.
19th of July, is that the date?
I don't want. Cabinet has to discuss it at 12, Shane, so you'll understand I can't kind of preempt cabinet decision, but that sort of time frame is what we are thinking of.
Okay.
What will be recommended to Cabinet today.
All right. Okay, that is good news. Just also in relation to international travel, will there be any announcement on mandatory hotel quarantine? Will there be changes to that announced today?
Well, we still have to be careful, and there will still be instances where if someone's coming in and they don't have that, if they're coming in and they arrive and they don't have the kind of necessary safe certificate, then we will have to have a mechanism to be careful. There will also be kind of certain countries or certain areas which haven't had the level of vaccination or which have high levels of a variant of concern. So we will, for another short period, maintain the hotel quarantine. The numbers will be a lot smaller, and as I said, it'll only be a very small percentage of people travelling, because the vast majority, particularly those who are vaccinated, I think that will become the real standard way of saying, well, that's no longer a problem. And with the vaccination, we are increasingly confident, or the health authorities, that they really are effective, that they last. The efficacy isn't short term now. We'll have to have various boosters into next year, probably the year after. So, and that those boosters will continue to be varied to take into account variants. So it's an ongoing management issue for the whole health system. But the return of international travel, along in my mind with the return to offices, the return to college, is part of this. Going back to normal.
Okay,
thank God.
Students back in college in September, October. Actually,
yes, I think that's vital. I think we really need, to focus as well now on our younger people in terms of particularly getting them back to work, getting them back to college, and also getting them vaccinated. In truth, because they'll be the last. For good health reasons, The older were the more vulnerable. But yeah, getting them done and keeping them safe is part of what we need to manage in the next couple of months.
Can I ask a specific question in relation to spectators returning to sporting events? And maybe you'll say, look, this has to be finalised and this will be announced later. But 5,000 spectators, or 25% of the capacity of larger venues, is going to be permitted. I'm curious, say for the All-Ireland finals in August, does that mean we're talking about 20,000 at Croke Park for that final, or is 5,000 more realistic?
Just on that, one of the things, Shane, what we've seen and the way we've done this is continue to review it and adjust. Like, we're doing things now in early June that we didn't expect to be doing. We're actually probably slightly ahead of what was expected. And that's because our numbers have held stable, because actually we haven't seen a huge spike in variants here, and because actually our vaccination program is working, and so a whole range of reasons. So the same I expect in terms of going to matches later on this summer. In June, we'll be careful. We'll have to test and trial, a bit like it's happening, like you watch Man United, Villarreal the other night. Yeah. Those sort of events where you've maybe 20% of the capacity, and we'll manage that and test and trial it. And then in July, I expect to ramp that up. And I'll be honest, if things keep going the way they're going, I would expect even those numbers that are going to be announced today in terms of numbers in the stage in August, if we keep managing things in June and July and we don't see a spike and we don't see new concerns, I think that won't be the limit of our ambition. I think we'll actually see larger numbers, but only if in the interim period we get it right. So I think we can expect in that sort of August period much more normal, much larger numbers back at ordinary events.